Cloud. Okay, let me just turn my phones. My phones keep ringing. Turn that off. All right. And are you ready to start?
I am ready. Yes, I am.
All right. Awesome. All right. So welcome to another episode with Sing Podcast. We are with the episode that we're doing now is called Visionary Voices Shaping the Future. And our guest speaker is Shellee Howard, who is a CEO and college admission strategist for College Ready. Um, the theme that we are going to probably elaborate on is building futures without debt and how visionary leaders are transforming education, opportunity, and impact. All right. So, welcome Shelly again. We'll start this by just, if you can, just give us a rundown of your background and your journey, by, being a CEO of College Ready and how did all that, take into, come into play.
Well, Donald, thank you so much for having me on the show. I do appreciate it. And listeners, this could be like multiple. So I'm just going to give you just the bare bones so you know who you're listening to. But it is a pleasure to be here. As the CEO of College Ready, I have been helping families prepare their child for their future. And what that looks like is I originally was going to call it Future Ready and nobody understood. So College Ready sticks because a good majority of our students are going to college. But I also help students who choose not to go to college and they may go on a different path to a trade school or something of that nature. So College Ready was actually started 17 years ago. I'm going on my 18th application season.
Wow.
I know. And it started, that's why I'm like, it could be a whole episode. But it really started my firstborn. He came home from middle school about this time of year. And he said, Mom, I know exactly what I want to do after high school, exactly where I want to go. And can you help me? And I'm like, absolutely, I can help you, right? Every good parent would say, sure.
Right.
And I said, well, what are you thinking? And then he said, I want to go to one of those Ivy things, Ivy college things, and I want to be a brain surgeon.
Hmm.
And that's the look I gave him, Donald, big eyes. Like, all right then. And so we had a lot of opportunity to figure this out together. I
Okay.
will say he was my firstborn and did everything that I asked of him. I have four children. They're all wonderful, but he raised himself. I just gave him the roadmap. So
Okay.
College Ready was started based off of one young man requesting help. And
Hmm.
long story short, I went back to school and I got my master's degree. I then became a certified independent college consultant. He did what I said, and he got into seven universities, USC full ride, and Harvard matched it. So he went to Harvard 4 years pre-med for free.
Okay.
That's what started this whole craziness.
Wow. Awesome. Awesome. That's exciting. So I just would like to just backtrack a little bit. Just give us a foundational experience of your journey. So currently with College Ready, I know you're the CEO, but can you tell me how many employees do you currently have? And then the other question would be, are you, and again, this is just a financial basis that we based our callers on. Are you actually, are you under 2 million valuation or are you above 2 million?
I would love to say I'm above, but I am not. I always put my students before myself. And so shame on me, but that is my mission is to help a million families get into college and graduate debt free.
Sure.
And so my mission sits on the front side. As far as being the CEO of College Ready, I have a wonderful team of seven.
Okay.
And I have the best test strategists, the best essay editors, the best consultants, the best career consultants. Our team has, I don't know, well over 60 years of experience.
Mhm.
And we're all parents or have been parents, so we feel your pain.
Right, right. Awesome, awesome. Thank you for that. So we're just gonna talk about the current landscape that you have. With the current landscape in your terrain, right? So what is the biggest shift in merit scholarship and test optional policies that you have or that you can let us know or may have come across?
Happy to share. College is a bit of a moving target. If
Okay.
you think you knew it way back when, it's nothing like it used to be.
Okay.
Every 4 years, we get a really big shift. And because I have four kids, I've seen that shift multiple times. And when it comes to merit scholarships, there is a ton of money. This year, we had 29 students earn $8.2 million in scholarships on top of need-based.
Oh,
So there's so much money. Social media, the TV, they want to frighten you. They want to freak you out. I don't know why they do it, but our students are seeing a ton of money. So for those parents who are listening, I hope that's reassuring. The other big mistake parents make is they assume they won't get any money because they make too much. That is a huge mistake, and
okay.
that is simply not true. So my goal is to educate families that these, myths are just that. There is plenty of money. Students are amazing. They're getting lots of money. Scholarships are there, they're available. And so I think that we're going into a wonderful time where students are really leaning into who they are, what matters, what they advocate for. I think this generation is on its way to do some great things.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. So we're just gonna talk a little bit about any impact stories you have. So can you let us know shortly on a favorite success story of a student or family that college ready may have experienced or recently experienced.
Wow, I have a lot of those. Every one of our students gets into one of the schools they've chosen.
Okay.
Many of them get into their top three. So there's so much success, but the one that is standing out right now was a student of mine named Henry, and he really wanted to be a doctor, or he still does. Very similar to my firstborn, he just didn't know what to do. And so he was just stuck. So when they hired me to work with Henry, our biggest goal was to help him to stand out
Okay.
because he was doing everything everybody else was. He had a great GPA, he had a great test score, and then what? And this is where the in then what comes in
Right.
many times. Because families, scholarships are tied to a student's GPA, a student's test score, a student's community service, the
Okay.
number of hours, the impact, the leadership, the extracurriculars. So we're talking about not doing things for college. We're helping to build a student success and help them to get to know each other or
Right.
know themselves. And so the success rate by these students is so impactful because we're approaching it differently right now. We're not saying you're good at math, go to MIT and take on debt. At
Right.
least at College Ready, that's not what we're doing. What is a good return on investment if you want to get a law degree, if you want to be an accountant, or if you want to be a entrepreneur? We need to take into account what is the long play and then reverse engineer it for that family to
Right.
look at why would you apply to a college you can't afford?
Right. Right. That's awesome. Awesome answer. Thank you for that. So, which makes us dive into, let's say, maybe metrics, right? So, what is the average scholarship dollars or acceptance rate that you have seen from your firm?
Yeah, that's a tough one. I had a student this year get into to Stanford and Harvard. Quality problem, one might say, right? And so and they got money at one and not at the other. Here's the problem. They chose the one to pay full price and not the one that got the scholarship. So as much as I'd love to say, here's a raw statistic, I have to talk more in 100% of our students get accepted into one of their top schools. And every single student in my program gets at least 2 to 3 times their investment that they spend with us. So it's a true return on investment. Now, what they do after they get accepted,
Yeah,
I cannot control. And that is a really tough thing because some parents get really caught up emotionally.
sure.
It may not be the right financial decision, but emotionally, that's what they choose. So every one of our students, period, gets scholarships. It just depends on, I've had full ride, I've had partial, I've had athletic, I've had merit, I've had like we've had all of them
Sure.
because our goal is helping that student be uniquely themselves and stand out amongst all of the students who are doing the same thing. So
Okay.
that's why our students are so successful.
Awesome, awesome, great answer. I know you just mentioned a program, right? So when you say program, I want to just give our audience a snapshot of what does that mean for a student? Are you what is your program like? Are you taking only students just straight from high school? And can you just give us a quick 1 or 2 minute how's your program designed? Does it cover every school in the United States, every student in the United States, or are you just or is it just a specific region?
I need 1 or 2 more than 2 minutes for that, but I'll do my best, audience. Okay, so here's how it breaks down. If I talk
Okay.
fast, I apologize.
Sure.
We can help any student with a 3.0 GPA or higher, period.
Okay.
We
Okay.
are a global company. We can
Sure.
help students go into Europe, all over the world, and we can help students outside the US come into the US. So we are a global company.
Global. Okay. Great.
Global.
Yeah.
Then we can help students all the way from, we start them in middle school, seventh and eighth grade, take
Sure.
them all the way through high school. If a student got into community college or a school that doesn't fit and reaches out to me, I can help them transfer to a better fit school.
Sure.
We also help with career advisement. For students who don't know their major, don't know their career, we help on that. That's a separate thing.
Sure.
What we're most known for is what's called Passion with Purpose strategy. And
Okay.
our students have an opportunity to earn 10 national awards, 4 leadership certifications while serving their community. So
Okay.
they're helping people and getting rewarded for doing just that.
Sure.
Program starts from I gift 2 students. 2 students get scholarship in a year. I give away my 2 books, and I will do that for your audience.
Sure.
2 best-selling books, and then our prices go from $275 on up, depending on what your student needs. We have 7 different offerings, so we truly can help anybody who has a teenager, period.
Awesome. Awesome. That is great. You guys are worldwide and you're helping students globally in and out of the United States. That's pretty awesome. So your home your based uh organization is based in what state, what area right now?
Oh, the business is located in Southern California,
Okay.
and we have helped students across the US.
Sure.
When my son got into Harvard, everybody says, well, you live on the West Coast. Like that wasn't possible.
Okay.
And every college has their own strategy, it has nothing to do with geography. So
Okay.
we can help any student anywhere.
All right, great. So, as you know or may have not know, but we are I run this podcast series, but we also are a AI optimization and growth partner company, right? So we help business look into the future when it comes to like how they want to scale and what we can help them with in terms of scaling, which goes back to your future vision, right? So which is it talks about scaling impact and innovation. So with College Ready, do you have any plans to expand access or launch new programs? I'm talking about like role in technology or AI. Are you currently using that as part of your college strategy?
We have to because our teenagers do.
Right.
So here's how we use it.
Okay.
Students submit an essay and we use AI tracker. So we can tell them before they submit to a university, you've been pegged as an AI user.
Sure.
That is against the rules. So we can gently send the essay back to them and explain to them, now you have to make it your own, not AI,
Right.
or they will be thrown in the trash. So how we do it is we have to stay one step ahead of our teenagers who think they're really sly
Right.
and protect them from what they don't know, that colleges have the ability to pull out AI. It could be as simple as taking down word count, right?
Okay.
They have an essay that's 1,000 words, they need it to be 500. They run that through AI, they are disqualified.
Sure.
So that's how we get to use AI.
Okay, awesome. And based on what you're experiencing, is there any type of I would say heavy lifting that you have, or maybe a use case that you are working on, or you're trying to solve, that you feel like, because you've been doing this, you've had your company for 17 plus years, but based on your journey, when it comes to that technology impact, do you have any area in your business that you think has a heavy lifting that you're probably trying to work, or have a use case that you're trying to have an impact on?
Right now, AI is not where we need it
Okay.
to be able to go all in. And what I mean is, we can show students the GPA, the test score, community service leadership. We can show a student other students and what their GPA is, but that's real numbers. When we ask AI, it does not match yet. So
Okay.
when parents are Googling or using AI to get statistics about college, unfortunately, they are not correct yet. And
Okay.
so AI is not up to our speed yet.
Sure.
Doesn't mean it's going to take long, but right now we have to fact check everything. And when I wrote my second book, it's when it became really apparent,
Okay.
because I would do some research and
Okay.
then I'm like, wait a minute, that's not what I know to be true.
Sure.
And it was just pulling some old data. So college changes so rapidly
Sure.
what they want that we're not quite there yet.
Okay, all right. Thank you for that. You mentioned books, which is going to be my next question. I know you mentioned that you have two of your own. But just before we get into your own, just do you have any book, or books, maybe two, or one, that may have just helped you with your journey, that you've leaned on to help you with your journey, and then you can tell us a little bit about your books and what they're about as well.
Wow, I have a whole bookshelf, so let me just
Okay.
look over.
Sure.
I have so many, but I would say, oh man, there's just, I read a lot. I have 3 books going right now.
Sure.
I think my favorite one right now is Tell Me I Can't.
Okay.
And that just gets, it's such my belief is that there's no such thing. Like if you
Mm,
tell me can't, that's not how I'm an entrepreneur
right.
first and foremost, and I believe I can. And
Sure.
so I love that book. But there's many more. My other favorite is Scale or Fail by Allison Maslin.
Okay.
I read a lot of entrepreneur books because they're fun.
Right.
They think outside the box. And
Right.
then I do a lot of investment books. So I have to stay ahead of my students. So whatever they're reading,
Sure.
I'm reading as well. My
Awesome.
first book that I wrote, How to Send Your Student to College Without Losing Your Mind or Your Money,
Okay.
was from a bet I lost to my firstborn.
Okay.
So he knows that I had no desire to ever write a book. That was not my journey. I do this because I love it.
Right.
He made a bet with me that if he crossed the stage at Harvard with a diploma and no debt, that I would write a book to help others do it.
Well,
And when he crossed the stage and handed me his new diploma, he said, Mom, where's the book? And I was like, oh no, he remembered. So
right.
I spent the next 3 months just diving in, just pouring into it. And it was a bestseller in 24 hours.
Wow.
It
Awesome.
took me 7 years to write my second book because that's how much I didn't enjoy the writing process.
Okay.
But the second book is called The College Admission Plan Simplified.
Sure.
Because that's the number one thing I hear from students and their parents is it's so overwhelming and so expensive. And I wanted to just give them the foundation so they could just take that deep breath and work together. And if they need help, then they reach out to me. But both of them are gifts. And if your listeners would like a copy, they
Sure.
can either go on Amazon or they can go to collegereadyplan.info
Okay.
and reach out and I will offer that to them.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that. So as we're wrapping things up, so I know you've written a few books, and then you have, you're operating globally, which are tremendous success. So I don't want to spell them out for you, but just if you can let us know based on your philosophy is in terms of your success, what would you say that is? Maybe a few examples of that in this 17, 18-year journey of college ready.
I truly believe it's always looking for what's next. When AI came out, I didn't run the other way. I'm like, I gotta learn it, I gotta know it. I need to know it well enough to help my students. So I've always been what's next, what's coming, how can I help? And I always have led with
Sure.
my mission is to help people. It's not a dollar. And
Right,
I think that is why College Ready has been so successful is we have all 5-star ratings because we truly pour into our families and want them to be successful because their success is our success.
right.
And that to me is all about making inspiration and impact for the teenagers to give them a platform for to succeed and for parents not to spend their retirement on a college education. So I'm really on a mission to save both the parent and the student.
All right, awesome. So, do you want to share any form of resources for our audience? Meaning it could be your website. I know you talked about the resources for the books. They can find that in Amazon. Is that another place or just Amazon is fine?
Yeah, the other place for a ton of free resources is go to my website, which is collegereadyplan.com.
All
And
right.
you can click on resources, and I have endless amounts of free resources that will support you. So, start there. I'm having a webinar tonight that's free to families. And so I'm always looking at how can I help? And I do speak at high schools. I help community organizations. So whatever I can do to support your family, please reach out. I'm happy to help.
All right. Well, want to thank you, Shelly, for your time today. We want to appreciate you for coming over to our podcast series. We know that this is not the end of our us seeing you. That you'll definitely see you again shortly to share the great things that you're doing around the world.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right. And do you have any last words for our audience before we go?
I would just say parents don't wait. The sooner you start, the more scholarships you'll receive. So that's really the most important thing. Students cannot wait till their junior year anymore to start this process if you don't want to go into debt.
All right. So thank you so much, Shelly. Appreciate your time and have a blessed day.
Thank you so much.
All right. Bye bye.